The typical American has to save for at least a decade to afford a home in their state, despite the federal government spending nearly $500 billion tax dollars on housing programs since 2015. That's according to a new report from Open the Books. Welcome back to the States. I'm Greg Bishop. Joining us to discuss this further is the Center Square reporter, Therese Boudreau. Therese, how much have taxpayers spent on affordable housing and, well, has it made a difference?
Yeah, well, taxpayers have spent approximately 460 billion from 2015 to 2024, and it hasn't really made a dent. What Open the Books found is that the affordability gap, what they define in states as the growth of annual income versus the growth of housing prices, so that difference is the affordability gap. They found that the housing and urban development spending on these 18 different programs, that 460 billion was responsible for approximately 2.75% of the narrowing of the affordability gap, which is statistically insignificant. So that essentially means that all of that spending over the decade was statistically insignificant in closing that affordability gap and helping Americans afford housing.
So, what all did Open the Books evaluate here? Are we talking about just the median income and how much a new home is and how much they have to save? Go through that a little.
Yeah, so they looked at a lot of different things. They compared for each of the 50 states the median annual income and the median housing price. And so one of the things that they found, for instance, was that if a taxpayer is able to save 10% of pre-tax income per year, which, by the way, is about double what the U.S. Federal statistics believe that taxpayers are able to save. They found that they were able to save 10%, that they in the most affordable, or the state with the lowest affordability gap, the narrowest affordability gap, they'd have to save for 9.5 years. That state is Alaska. So in all other 49 other states, taxpayers have to save more than a decade in order to afford the typically priced home. In some states, that's as long as 25 years, in Maine, for instance. So it really just kind of paints a dire picture. I mean, housing prices have all gone up 100% since 2015, at least, except for in Alaska, it's something around 98%. So it's not looking good right now for home buyers on the market.
Yeah, it's something that's considered the American dream. Everybody, is told that the American dream is get a house with a white picket fence, right? I mean, it seems that this report's highlighting it's a little bit more difficult despite nearly $500 billion, $460 billion of tax funds spent on this to help with affordable housing. But as we're seeing here, Open the Books, they kind of show what some of the states with the highest affordability gaps are. Let's go through some of these really quick, Therese. Idaho is at number 1. You got Florida, Utah, Tennessee, Arizona, New Hampshire, Nevada, Maine, Rhode Island, Washington. That's just the highest affordability gaps. What are some of the things that are driving this in those states?
So they can't definitively point to this exactly is what's driving it. One of the interesting things, as you can see from lists, is that the whole state breakdown doesn't really apply. But they are seeing in states like Idaho, for instance, that there is that very large affordability gap, but at the same time, people's incomes are rising. They're just nearly as close as to the rate that home prices are also rising. And so it's not so, they were surprised because they didn't find that necessarily states with high tax rates versus states with low tax rates, it would be more affordable in the low tax rates and less affordable in the high tax rates. That's not really true. I mean, Louisiana on that list has the lowest or the narrowest affordability gap. So prices or home prices went up, I believe it was about 50% roughly within the 10-year span, and incomes went up roughly around 40%. So not too bad. But again, Idaho is also not really considered a blue state, and as you can see on that list, it's quite varied. You have everything from Tennessee to Rhode Island. Some of the stuff that they really can't pin it down to some things in particular. They said it's not just COVID flight. Can't quite be attributed to that because it's over a span of a decade. But they do see that this spending that states are doing, that they're getting from HUD, is not really making a dent. And so that's kind of like the main question right there: is what is causing these super high prices, and why is the spending not helping anything?
Yeah, $460 billion since 2015. States with the lowest affordability gaps: Louisiana has the lowest, followed by West Virginia, North Dakota, Mississippi, Alaska, Illinois, Maryland, Iowa, California, and Hawaii. Just to wrap up here, Therese, back to, kind of what you touched on at the beginning. Does Open the Books find that the $500 billion that was spent didn't make any difference?
No, it really didn't. And what Open the Books, I've talked with Christopher Neefus from Open the Books, and he was saying that solutions and funding at a more local level, or at the very least a state level, are probably going to be the best answer, because those are the people who are on the ground, who know the local terrain. It's not just the federal government throwing money just willy-nilly and just constantly spending, and it's not really making a dent. And so they believe that that's kind of similar to the what the federal loans, federal student loans, how that's kind of, we've seen that how education prices have not gone down. It's just subsidizing things. And so Open the Books really believes that maybe distributing the spending and having this funding for affordable housing at the state and local level might be the answer to actually making a dent in that affordability gap.
Well, Therese Boudreau, people can read more of your story there at thecentersquare.com. So be sure to get that in your inbox with the newsletter for free at thecentersquare.com. We'll be right back with more from the States.